I was really enjoying that fan, actually. I love my many fans. There are 3 on in this room, so.
I believe you. I know you as a person.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Drag Race.
Woo!
So we're really in it now, Ariana.
Oh, Ariana, we're really in it now.
Nice job.
No, we've come to the meat and potatoes of the season and stuff. Shit's happening. Unlikely voice of reason, Candy Muse. She really... What?
I don't know. I agree with you that she's had growth. I just think maybe she's like a Taurus or something. She's just not my vibe. I'm just still not into it. I think
she was like a den mother this episode.
She really was. I'm certainly not discounting that. I just think we're not vibing on the same wavelength, and I maybe it's because of how much she put me off so early, but it comes off a little fake now to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I like it. I prefer when they are people. So.
Yeah, no, 100% me too. I don't want her to keep being the way that she was in that episode. It's just there's still something for me where I'm like, I can't get there with her. And that's maybe a me problem.
So we had a improv challenge, which was overall actually pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Not quite as cringy as it could be. I thought Rosé and Denali were really, really good.
Yeah.
And they knew it, and they were very, very butthurt.
Yeah.
I don't think being safe is the curse that they think it is.
I don't either. I think I don't know. Rosé really wants a win. Real bad.
I feel like Denali wanted it more, but I can't remember if Denali's already won. But no, I get that, and especially I get wanting the critiques because the judges don't really. If you're safe, then you don't hear what they're thinking.
Yeah.
So I definitely get that, but it's like having not watched a whole bunch of this show, I don't see how skating through until later on is such a bad thing. But.
Well, sometimes it can come back to bite them. Like, sometimes the judges are like, you've really been in the middle a lot. We need you to pick yourself up from your bootstraps or whatever. And the queens are like, well, I've literally never gotten a critique before. How was I to know that you didn't like this thing about me? Like, that's the kind of thing. I can get that for sure. I also I liked Rosé's Runway a lot. So...
It was the Tinkerbell. Yeah, that was really good, actually, the whole thing. I had missed the part where it was beads.
Bees?
Beads.
Beads?
Job's not on board.
So I was like 6 girls in by the time I gleaned what the theme was. Bees just come flying out of everywhere. The X-Mimetology, that was also very funny.
Yeah.
What do you think about Olivia Lux? I think it was Tina, maybe, that clocked her as like a closet diva.
Yeah, I can see it, but
Tina would be able to call it.
Tina would be able to call it. I do think she's pulling it off with enough, what do you want to say, like charm, that it doesn't feel very diva-ish, but she really did snatch that role right out of Utica's hands, because Utica was like, I really want to do this, and she was like, I just think it would be really good if I did it though instead, and she managed it, and she was really, really good, but you could tell that Utica was pissed about the whole thing.
Well, and she also just straight bombed, because it's not even so much that I think Utica was pissed about it. She just gave up. Like, she just was like, not that I think the two of them needed to be fighting. That's what would have made this week better.
Yeah.
But I could not make heads or tails of what Utica was attempting to do, especially considering that she has actual improv background. And I think it was Ross, one of them said something about how gorgeous she looked, but at what point was that the mime's mother? There was no correlation.
No.
The Simone and Candy, it was kind of like a Paris and Nicole vibe. I really liked that.
It was a different vibe from Candy too, which was nice. When they were like rehearsing, it felt like it was going to be super awkward, but she was like playing a lower octave essentially, where she was like, I'm going to fall to the back with my performance a little so it's not so like out there like it has been. And I think it worked in her favor.
Well, she was also so right where she was like, that's one of the issues, especially with the improvisational challenges, is they come out at a 10 and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so even though Rose and Denali and Lala Ree actually was good too, but it was sort of like she didn't quite pop until the very end.
Well, she didn't come out at a 10.
Sure.
Amongst two queens that were already at a 10, so I get it.
No, I thought that was good. I love Simone and the strawberry blonde wigs. The ginger or like the strawberry. I'm really into that.
Yeah.
And then we had NASA employees. I didn't understand that at all. Although I think Tina, go ahead.
I'm with the judges where like you couldn't tell at first that they were meant to have been like secretly in love with each other. But I think that they did sort of what they could with that sketch, which was the dumbest of all of them, in my opinion. I am maybe like a closet Elliot with two T's stan, because I just am like, I can't get over the fact that like nobody likes him. It seems like they just don't give a shit.
Well, we touched on it finally. We touched on it in this episode. And that actually makes a lot of sense that this is all sort of like a weird put on like defense mechanism, especially in Untucked when Candy was like, it's the first time that we're seeing him without all the hey girl, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because that can be exhausting.
Of course it can. I mean.
No, I think Tina should maybe just like implement the giant ass into part of her look. I think it was so much better than whatever that runway was that she did. That's my issue with Tina. Is I like Tina and I want to like Tina, but her stuff is hideous. And
it's not great. It's not my favorite.
We haven't seen enough of her comedy or personality for me to overlook the ugly drag. I just don't think it's all that. And she's popping out all kinds of like tricks and stuff. She had the reveal last week. And I mean, I liked the boobs, but it just was not, it was just not good.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely the least of the 3 Mardi Gras themed looks tonight.
I mean, with beads.
Beads?
Of course, it's fine. But like, was nobody checking backstage to make sure we didn't have like all the same thing?
Well, that's only because like the other 4 girls went ahead and switched theirs because they were beads too. And also, I just was like, I guess the real MVP here was Ross, because I thought Ross was really funny in all of the skits.
I love Ross. I thought that was really funny too.
That was a funny bit. I liked the door that none of them could get in, the like gate, latch. Yeah, the gate. I thought that was good. So yeah, we talked about Elliot and Tina sort of getting into more personal stuff.
So Elliot was there and like pouring his heart out to Tina and just like, you know, like, yeah, I have clinical depression. And then Tina was like, okay, let me make it about me for a second because my mom also is clinically depressed.
Exactly.
And I was like, are you fucking serious? I know exactly where you're coming from because my mom is clinically depressed. And I'm like, so secondhand, you know what's going on.
Yeah, and then Denali, she had the chandelier. That was cool. I liked it a lot, but I do sort of, in spite of leading this whole talk with that being safe isn't a kiss of death.
Yeah.
I do think she's on to something that she does a little bit fade into the background. I mean, she was kind of an early front runner for me, but
I like her a lot. It's not that I've seen that exact look before, but it also
Katy Perry wore it at the Met Gala.
Yeah, but she's like that. This is my favorite look I brought, and I was like, oh. Like, you don't have anything, like, you don't think that your, like, South American bird god thing was, like, cooler than that? Like, that was way cooler than this, like, lamp dress. And then I did love that he was like, I've been obsessed with lamps since I was a little boy. And I was like, cool. What a weird, cool piece of trivia about you. Obsessed with lamps. I love it.
We also had Utica's Bloody Mary, which was really, really, really good. But I agree. I don't remember who said it, but I agreed with what one of the queens from Untucked, where they were like, the beads was secondary. I kind of thought she was going to get in trouble for that.
Well, she didn't. Yeah.
No, she just needs to chill out a little bit. Like, she just needs to learn. Like, I love the kooky. I love the faces. I love the weird. But she also needs to prove that she can just be cool. You know what I mean?
So, like because by this point in the Evie Oddly season, she had done like a glam look already. Like we had seen that she could do something besides being like crazy and scary.
Which we got close with the improv challenge, but it's like, I just want to see a hot girl look. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and then, oh my God, Simone, she's so good. She call it like a Zulu warrior?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so good. She turned around and the beading with the Simone spelled in beads in the braids behind.
It was so cool.
So I think that's the thing with Denali, and of course there's still episodes to come that we haven't seen, but there's a handful that it's like like Simone. It's like she's a real contender.
Yeah.
And there's a couple people that I think could hold a candle to her, and then there's other ones that I think are great, but they're sort of filler. And it's sort of like for me at least, it's just sort of figuring out at what place they're going to land.
Yeah.
Because actually, I think she did fine, but Got Mick, I thought was just okay. I've gotten used to whatever the shtick is.
Yeah.
But especially the red, it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, and she was just safe. So it's not like...
Sure.
She was not at the top like she has been, which I was like, no, that's fair. I just like... It's also, I reach a point where I'm like, I don't like you to be so much, so many weeks in a row where it's like last week was that teeny tiny dress and now you're anal beads. I'm just like, I get it. Like it's okay to be like normal at one point. It's okay to just be like,
it's getting a little too blue for you.
Yeah. I'm just like, and it's not like I don't think I'm a prude or anything, but it's just like, I get it. I get what you're doing, but it's like, maybe I also sometimes don't do it every week.
Like, I like the Cirque du Soleil makeup and stuff, but for me, it just looked like the Sea Dragon one, only a different color.
Sure. Also, yes. Yeah.
That's sort of the thing where I was like, I guess I kind of want some slightly different themes or something. I'm not sure.
I think what I mean is I would like a baseline. I would like just like, because it's just been like, whew, like all the way at the top. And I would like something that's just like, what's a baseline here? What's something that we can just all agree is like good drag that's still your style, but is maybe not anal beads today?
We hear that word more during a run of RuPaul's Drag Race than the whole rest of the year combined.
It's true.
At least 3 times in a 4-month span. It's not as common as I think. No.
Yeah.
I actually really like Elliot's flapper, and that's the thing with Elliot. I'm a little bit with you. I like Elliot too. I just don't see a reality where he's an actual contender. Like,
no, I just think that it would be too soon to go now because I don't.
And I think he is showing a little bit of growth.
Yeah, and I don't think there's been enough. Like, I don't know. The fact that he's still so alone in this group, because like the whole time, neither side has liked him. And so he's just been alone the whole time. And that, it's like a baby bird. And I'm like, are you okay? I like want to put you back in the nest.
So honestly, I think my favorite look was Candy's, like that Mae West thing.
Really?
I loved that like show. Oh yeah, with the giant hat and all that. I thought it was actually just so good.
I thought she was gonna get in trouble because I thought it looked kind of sloppy in the back with the beads that were like trailing down, but they were like with no rhyme or reason really. But they friggin' loved it, and
I was into it this week. So Lala Ree went home. We saw in Untucked, it was kind of like she sort of started to. I don't like saying that they gave up, but she just kind of was like, this just isn't working.
Well, at a certain point, once I think they realize what they're up against, like, I think she probably was like, well, Elliot's a dancer. Even if I'm really good at lip syncing, she's probably going to win. I agree.
I was surprised. I thought I would have bet 2 to 1 that Lala Ree was going to win that. I love that. It's Kelly Clarkson's song.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't sure, to be honest. I could have seen it going either way. But I am glad that Elliot got to stay just because I like feel a very underdog kinship that I like want her to keep going.
And I'm going to miss Lala Ree, especially, but that's also the thing. It's like what I liked the most about Lala Ree was what she brought to the like behind the scenes, like professionals, and like where they were just reenacting Maury for no reason. Like,
that was hilarious.
Well, because it feels like we've only gotten to now. Like it's taken till now for them to all be friends. Yeah. And it's been for better and worse. Like in some ways it's benefited this season rather. And other ways it's hampered the season. So yeah, I'm not sure where, because Ru changes the rules every other day. I don't know how many more weeks we've got of this.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I felt very positive. I thought like things got accomplished, both within the competition and personally. So I liked this, and I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of this. Next week's going to be the Rusical, which is always a toss up, from what I understand.
I was a little more nervous about this week. It just makes
you never love the improv.
I don't love the improv. I don't like when they have to read each other, because it's like, it's always one point where it's like someone's too mean, and then there's always a point where the music in the background stops and it's just like crickets, and it just makes me so much secondhand embarrassment, even though I know it's fake.
We haven't had such masterful reality television editing since The Girls Next Door.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
So
Elliot's Mardi Gras look was my favorite. I need to put
the flapper. Yeah,
it was amazing. It was so good.
Yeah, I thought the costume was good. I thought it was safe, but I loved the hair and makeup.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
So yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm excited. So
me too.
Okay, well, let us know and check back later.
Bye.
Beads.